Hello and welcome. I need to type in my little message here and then we'll get started. I hope everyone is doing well. Uh, okay, here we are, coming to the end of May. And hello, Rinky. Rinky, is that? That's what I want to say your name is, but maybe I have your name wrong. But I know who you are. Luminous Colors. We'll just call you that. Welcome. So we're just getting started here, and yeah, we're almost to June here to summer. So hope everybody's doing well. Um, and let's get settled into our space. The days are getting longer, and wow, it's really noticeable where I am. A little further north, you really start seeing those longer days. So that's always nice. And noticing how, our rhythm and our cycles change in how we move through life with that changing of the season, sun coming up. If you're in the northern hemisphere, sun coming up earlier and going down later. So it's a really interesting journey. Hey, Roma. And so anyways, let's just kind of settle in, take it, notice your environment. Is the light different around in your environment? It's you know uh, back in beginning of the year, it was so dark at this time of day, and now it's there's a lot of light. So noticing the light, and it noticing how that's it- light is really interesting, and so is sound. Light will bounce off the things. So if you have light coming in through the window, like I have over here, there's one thing, but then it's hitting the wall and then bouncing off the wall. Sound is really interesting to pay attention to. And as I'm talking, just really notice those pieces for you in your environment and notice what I'm talking about. So if it's the light, notice the light in your environment, and then come back into your body. Notice your body. But sound is really interesting because I'm up in an apartment up from the street, and sound just it's very interesting how it travel. Hi, Asta. How it travels, and it feels like it's right there all around, and it's really interesting to try to follow it down to where it's actually coming from. It's not always easy to do. Um, but I noticed that, especially with this change from a year ago when I moved here, to where I'm now, and hearing the noise from the street, but it feels like it's right outside the window here. So noticing that, noticing sounds in your environment, and my voice coming through to you on whatever you're listening is a noise, is a sound, and there might be some other sounds. I've got a little ringing in the ear. It might be gurgling in your stomach as well as things external to you. So just notice those sounds, and then notice your body. So right now, you can just notice your whole body if that's hard to do. Um, just notice a part of your body, like it could be your chin, it could be your earlobes, could be the lower back, and just coming into your breath, letting yourself settle into your body with the breath and slow down and come into a deeper state, more relaxed, and just with every exhale, it's kind of nice to just kind of see yourself just kind of relaxing even more. You might feel like melting butter. Some butter melted in the sun. So if you feel like that, letting your muscles and your nervous system just kind of settle down, calm down, relax. Somebody's got some little bit of gnarly, kind of like energy around them. So just take a deep breath into that if that makes sense to you showing up. Like it's kind of an argumentative energy, so it could be just somebody that's around you also could be in that state of mind. And if that's the case, then that's even more important to just pull into yourself. Take that time, even if it's a couple minutes, to just come in and feel yourself really coming into you, into your body, to separate out from that. Let them go their own way, at least for now. You can always kind of pick that back up when we're done if you want, if you need to. But for now, give yourself that time to just separate out from all that other stuff, and then just coming into you. Really feel your body. Let yourself connect. Let's go into the muscles. So now that's getting called to kind of get focused on here. Mm. So let's start with the arms. Feeling the muscles in the arms. And if you need to, just kind of like touch your arms, touch your upper arms, lower arms. Feel that, all that muscle. There's the skin, there's a layer of skin, there's a layer of fascia in there too. But generally that whole thing, just feeling your arms. And as you feel your arms, focusing on the muscles. You can go all the way down from your upper arms, lower arms, letting that awareness flow down. Into your hands. Hands are really complicated items. They're very interesting, intricate. There's a better word, intricate. There's a lot of tendons. There's muscles there. There's nerves. There's a lot of bones in the hand. So letting yourself kind of just have a sense of that. And the muscles. Yeah. Muscles do a lot of work in the body of creating that movement. When we want to move, that getting generated through the muscles to move from one place to another, to stand up, and it's always interesting when there's a particular tightness in an area. It could be the back, it could be the some muscle that's off, and wow, you really feel other muscles, and how that impacts you. If you got this one little tight muscle in this one area to one side, and then you start noticing, whoo, how much you use to things like stand up. How many muscles get involved with standing up? So taking a deep breath, and then bringing, as you breathe in, just pull your energy back through your fingertips into your arms, and let's go into the neck. The neck, speaking of muscles and how that gets held up, um, there's just that spine that is solid. Of course, there's a lot of solid tissue in the neck, but I mean the bone's not solid like the bones, and so there's a lot of work that the muscles do to hold that up, and even to rotate the head in different directions, tilted up and down. You can move your head around and just have a sense. Even put your hand to really kind of connect in and really feel that for a little bit. And then just bring your awareness into that just by itself, just the awareness. Settling in, yeah. Bringing your awareness to your throat is if you have issues with expressing yourself, that will be really helpful. Because if you have problems expressing yourself, that means there's stuff in your neck that's maybe other people, uh, maybe trauma, maybe of some kind. So coming into that, so let's go into that a little bit deeper. There's and I invite you to kind of just make a vibrating sound. So do it with your mouth closed because that really emphasizes the vocal cords, and feel that vibration going through your neck as you do that. And you can play with the tone, moving it up and down, and see how that shifts that vibration in the neck. Yeah, okay, that's yeah, keep doing that. That's a nice clearing. That some people have, some of you have got, you've got this other people, at least one other person that's coming out of you. Yeah, it's interesting. One person. Let's. I'm just going to say one entity, one being that's. Um, that's bringing. There's yeah. Keep so and again, if you're not doing this yet, I invite you to do that, to just kind of make some kind of, doesn't have to be really loud, but some kind of vibrational sound, and keep working on with you on that, because that's really bringing out some deeper trauma uh, that's really deep in the throat for people. Of really having been shut down, and that affecting the throat and the at least the vocal expression. There we go. Nice, nice. It's really starting to open up very nicely. Yeah, some very deep release. Okay, we're gonna hang out here because there's a lot that's coming through. Really deep release that's happening for people. It's like it's sending out waves. It's really interesting to see this because it's like I'm seeing it. It's like sending out this very smooth wave. As you focus on your throat, as we're working on this, working through this, clearing this up, we can kind of visualize or have this sense, or have it in your mind's eye. Just have this image of this very straight line going through the center there. It's actually going through your whole body, but at least feeling in your throat and just having that sense that it goes all the way through your body. It's like piercing through you. Very nice. Now you're all kind of releasing out of a layer here. Just shifting up higher. Yeah, very nice. Oh, feel that stillness now. Very deep stillness. Yeah, coming into very, very deep. Is that there's a lot of softness in this place. It's space. It's very nice. So let yourself just breathe into that. Just feel that. Allow yourself to feel that stillness. Really connecting deeply with that, but with yourself and that stillness being inside of you. So really coming into very deeply into yourself. Keep feeling your breath, also noticing your breath. And just know you're in a safe space. There's fear coming up. Um, that fear is getting triggered by a, a previous trauma, um, because there's this resonance in terms of how this feels to a trauma that's happened before. Um, so it feels like it's the same, but it's not nice. Yeah, so Roma just said it's well, it speaks to me almost like I can't express through voice. It's life or death scenario. Yeah. There's a piece around isolation also that's coming up with this stillness, because when you're in isolation, you're cut off from everything, and there's this the quality of that stillness. It's not the same, but it's just a reminder. So breathe. If this is coming up for sounds like it's for at least one person here, but if it's coming up for Anybody else, just let yourself just be still, be present, just breathe, just notice. Just keep allowing yourself to go through that breath. Uh, come into your breath, noticing your breath. Yeah, there's a lot coming up in this. It's sort of, it's a stillness and a silence, and there's also another piece around uh, having had to be silent to escape. Kind of the phrase "walking through the valley of shadows." And a lot of people have done this for so long in so many places. In wartime when you had to walk through the dark and not be heard to get to freedom. So it's like that silence. So having to come into that, there's this piece where the throat is just catching. Wow. So just breathing into that. And allowing ourselves to just be present, just be still, just focusing on that breath. As you are in pure source, you are with pure source. Yeah, it's actually wow, this is another interesting deep session because this is really pulling into the collective. So this is really reaching beyond the people on the call. Having been silenced for so many reasons are coming up of people having been silenced. Okay. We are starting to shift into a very different mood. If you feel that there's a lot of lightness that is starting to come through, um, lightness of being and lightness. I don't want to say joy quite yet, but it's on that heading in that direction. So that's good. This has been really really interesting so far. Ooh, oof. Got a lot of different traumas from a lot of different cultures that are showing up. The First Nations are showing up here. Um, Especially the women, trauma to the women right now. And indigenous cultures are showing up in this clearing in terms of who it's clearing from around the world. If you're feeling like you want to scream, if you're in a place where you can, I mean, really yell and scream and let it out vocally, you're welcome to do so in your space if that feels appropriate and safe for you to do, because this is really bringing through a very, very powerful clearing. Yeah. So just let it come through. Africans are coming up. Uh, I'm seeing as the Maasai dress, just because I recognize it, but it's not just the Maasai. It's the people, all the numerous cultures and cultural groups of Africa. Ooh. Asia also is coming up. The Indian subcontinent. It's just this is just spreading throughout the whole globe here. So we're gonna keep hanging out here until we move through this. A lot of very deep grief coming through for people. So also just letting that expression come through for you. If you're feeling like you crying, like there's deep crying, just feel it. And, if you don't express it, that's fine. But if it doesn't really come out, that's fine. But let yourself feel those deep feelings. It's actually going into various species like the whales. I'm seeing penguins too. The penguins, the whales, the Antarctica. Um, so this is like sending out this very deep vibration all the way through everything. It's really interesting to see nature showing up. I mean, I've done clearance on nature, but this is very interesting to see that these this come through also. Right, it's like ocean animals, ocean life right now that's showing up. You're focusing on your breath and on your physical body, being really present in your body with this. And this, what I'm seeing now is there's, it's like people lining up, and it's the imagery of this, of a circle of people that's going around the globe, all joining hands and and standing, people standing in their power and standing in their freedom, standing for their power and for their freedom as well. So and standing as one, as one. Coming back into the stillness, letting yourself breathe into the stillness. Letting yourself relax into the stillness within. So really, again, coming into your body. It's the microcosm cosmos inside that's the hologram of the macrocosmos outside. So it's really about coming in, connecting within to connect with the whole of existence. You come within yourself, stopping, diving in deep into that connection with yourself, and through that deep connection with yourself, it opens you up to the whole of existence. So feeling that stillness around you, feeling that stillness within. So expression is not just vocal, and that was the starting point, verbal, vocal. Expression is everything that you put forth of yourself out into the world is an expression. And then there's also the internal expression, but anything that is, trying to find another word than expression, um, but it's what everything that you put out, and even internally that you put, that comes through of yourself, whether it's like how you dress, how you live, how you move, all of those are expressions of your being. So this is much deeper than just a vocal, verbal. That right to be who you are, basically. And it comes down to that freedom of being who you are, and deep expression. And this is a very, very deep subject, and very deep session here because so much has been done to stop that in people, to change that, to redirect that into either what was acceptable or worse, into um, making people, I want to say, do things, be things. Um, and I mean, diving into this whole thing of slavery, which basically everybody in existence, everybody that I've come across has that thread running through them. And slavery is you don't own yourself. You don't own who you are. You don't own yourself. You belong to something else, somebody else, and so that funneling of that expression of your essence into something that is for something other than you, something outside of you. So really bringing that to the surface, really bringing that through to release. Let's take a deep breath into this. So this has been a really interesting session because this is really bringing up this the power to say no, and to really be able to say no to something that's opposing yourself. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of that inner strength to say no. I won't do this anymore. And this session has really brought that to the surface, and to be able to move ahead for ourselves in our lives, in the evolution of our spirits, of our beings, the evolution of society. We need to be able to say no to what should not be, um, to a lot of how existence has been functioning. So this has been a really important piece, really big session. So thank you all for showing up with that. Oh, Cherie, that's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. Okay. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. That's probably why you showed up too. So really glad that you also showed up, and whoever else is showing up, because not everybody's this high, so I don't know them all. But if you'd like to share a little bit about what you're feeling for yourself right now, please do. So we can honor that, recognize it, and honor that, and appreciate the hey Laria, uh, appreciate that struggle, but also appreciate that no, that's really residing very deeply. Uh, Hi, Nareen Sudas. Sorry if I not pronouncing the name very well, but welcome. Coming at the end there. But this has been a really interesting session. Just to recap, and you're welcome to come back and listen to it because we've been doing a very deep clearing. With expression. So we started with the muscles, we went to the throat, but then that really opened up to doing a very deep clearing for everybody on the call, but across the collective as well. Jobs, thinking they can change your schedule without even asking you. Yeah, there we go. There's, for example, that's a very one little example of, very modern day example of, getting funneled into that expression, and I was seeing the globe with people standing around the globe holding hands, and you mentioned, yeah, I didn't mention that right away, that I'm seeing your toning also as well, but yeah, so there's, at the end of the session, I saw bright violet light within. Oh, very nice, yeah. There's some people who do the violet flame thing, and that's got a specific frequency. So very nice. So just feeling to where you are, and Narim Sudas. Yeah, see if you can just have a sense for yourself of how it feels to have stepped into this space. You're kind of coming in at the end, but it's very powerful space here that we had of just and this collective clearing. So some of it might have felt more personal, but there's also a lot of that collective stuff that's coming through. Let's see. Roma says, "Thank you. I'll resonate with me, even the slavery piece and owning myself." Oh, slavery is like every single person has been in this situation of slavery, and if you've been the slave owner, something else is owning you. That's all I can say. So it's everybody's in that place, not owning themselves, not being free to be themselves. So very, very strong piece. Yeah. So very good. Yeah. How's everybody feeling? There's still some clearing that's happening, but there's still, and this the space is still very still. There's this very deep stillness there, but it's also very uh, there's a fullness there. There's a cohesiveness. Thank you for Rinky. Yeah, thank you for stopping by too. Again, everybody, when people come in for this, it's you're showing up and you're participating, so you're adding to the juice, so to speak. Um, and from Asta too. Yeah, Asta, I think this was a good one for you too, with the throat. Uh, so, yeah, for those of you who are new here, I do this every Wednesday. Just this is the space coming into being, and just giving you that time, that space to really connect with yourself, and then every time it's different. This was very another extraordinary. It's always extraordinary, but another extraordinary experience of really going in deeply into ourselves, and in going to that depth within ourselves, it opens us up to the collective, to the rest of existence, and everything that needs to come through. Wow, yeah. Yes, wow. That's exactly how I feel, so totally. Um, that was amazing. Okay, so yeah, very nice. I'm not sure when you came in, I think towards the end, but it was an amazing session. So every Wednesday, just providing this space live on Instagram, on YouTube, and Facebook. Sometimes I forget to post, I will admit, but it's every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central European Time, or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the States, and wherever else you are. Um, so, yeah, it was nice to have everybody. There's still a little bit of clearing going on, but there's just this deep stillness. And what I'm seeing also is there's a much deeper cohesiveness and coherence to people's energy fields. So it's almost like there's the knitting is tight, like the fibers are. There's more fibers, and there's more, if you to describe it that way, and there's a density there. That's really good. Um, that's there in people's fields, and so that when we have more coherence, there's more strength of self and yourself. And if you're new to me, I invite you to on Instagram. You can go to my bio and just click on the link in the bio, and that'll take you to my website. Check out different offerings on my website, and for Facebook and YouTube, it's on the name there, but it's unboundedandfree.com, and take a look at my services, what I offer, and just what I do. I have a blog also, and some audios. Interestingly enough, there's this piece that's happening, and I was asking, just tuning into that, asking about that for myself. I do have an audio on in my recordings, frequency audios, that focuses on the chakras. No, there's a really interesting piece that's happening with the chakras is that a lot of people are starting to see that they're dissolving out. We're shifting into a different system, and I was wondering about that. So just kind of tuning into that, but that will still it's still effective for people to work on just clearing out a lot of the old residue so that they can shift through that more easily as that is happening as well. Um, so And then I also have a blog, so I find some interesting stuff on there too. But uh, I'll take another nice deep breath into this. There's a lot of strength. So I'm kind of just staying in that space. I think this is a nice space for everybody because there's a lot of strength and cohesiveness. So a lot of strength that's coming in from that cohesiveness and that coherence in the field, in people's field. So allowing that to gel even more as we stay a little bit longer. A lot of strength, yeah. That feels really nice for people, um, and for the collective. And it was also really interesting because I don't think that's ever come up in sessions. I'm thinking I'm gonna what I'm about to say is that I that's the first time I've seen this happen when it was the aquatic life animals. But I would be surprised if that just kind of spread to uh, the nature and the wildlife um, on land as well. But it was especially the aquatic life. Probably and so that's never come in where both the human stuff with the human collective and then the animal collective has shown up like that. And the sense I'm getting as I'm talking is that the reason is the aquatic life is because I did do a clearing on the Pacific Ocean. I want to say 3 years ago, and it was just amazing, amazing experience. And at the end, there was I would say the presence of nature that just came in at the end and just went through everybody. Um, so that piece was really kind of stepping forward. So there's a little bit uh, why the aquatic life was really showing up with this at the end. But it is wildlife uh, globally too. The land animal collective. Yeah, we always talk about the human collective, but it's interesting because it's like there's, as I'm saying, the animal collective. They've got there's a sense of that presence too uh, through nature. So very nice, very good work, everybody. Thank you all for joining. Any last questions or any last comments? And just anchoring everybody in even more deeply into that connection to the earth. And yeah, we're finally, and this came up last Wednesday, but I can really feel it again this Wednesday, is that the earth is finally, I can say that the earth, and it is the new earth. So that has really shifted the consciousness of the earth has really shifted over um, completely. And this other piece has the old consciousness. Just for those of you who are new, there's been, wow, it's been a year and a half now. at least for me, of the new earth and connecting in with the new earth. Um, and I won't get into all the details, but it's been needing to say connecting into the new earth, because otherwise it was connecting into, uh, it's not just the old consciousness, but it's also the manipulation through the old. And so having to say specifically the new earth, to not tap into this other stuff. But that's finally shifted through. And so we can, I can now say connecting into the earth, and it is the new earth. It's not the old. And the old consciousness, but also the use, the manipulation of the earth, frequencies from the earth and what's called the earth grid to um, manipulate and distort people and anything else on the planet. So that, yeah, that's really kind of, we're really in a different place. So really cool to see. Anyways, okay, so no more comments. So I guess everybody's just kind of chilling out. Thank you all so much for showing up. Really interesting session. So again, every Wednesday, welcome to come on by next week. We'll see what happens. Like I say, every time it's a different experience. Something new comes up. So I thank you all for stopping by. And also, it's on the Facebook. No, yes, it's on the Facebook and it's description on YouTube. Yeah, you're also welcome to make a donation if you'd like. PayPal me at Unbounded and Free, but no need to, no worries if you just if you're inclined to, you're welcome. If not, that's fine too. So, all right, I think that's thank you all again for stopping by, and have an amazing evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and look forward to seeing you again in the ethers and live and wherever else we connect.